What is up, degenerates? It is Tuesday, October 28th. Want to talk about some things today. We had some declarations today. I am on X at divdegenerates is my handle, whatever you call it, my username. But first I want to show you this picture. This is from my second honeymoon. We had as you know, we had our 25th wedding anniversary this past week. We decided to do a long weekend in Puerto Rico, and we stayed at the El Conquistador Resort in Fajardo. Las Croabas is the town, if I pronounce that right. The main hotel is on this cliff, and you check in, and then our room was down here in the marina. So you take this little, it was called a funicular. It's like a gondola down this steep cliff. It's not a suspended thing, but it's like on a track. But anyway, I want to show you that picture. Highly recommend Puerto Rico. If you're in the States, it is a domestic flight. You don't need a passport. There is no customs. It's a U.S. territory. Everyone we encountered spoke English, and it was just fantastic. So that was our view, and I wanted to share that picture with you. It has 302 views in the last 3 days. That's more views than I get on my YouTubes, but that's besides the point. Anyway, let's get to some declarations. Yieldmax Group 1 declared today, and let's look at the prices today. Call this a Christmas day because we got some red and green. It's very festive. Nothing really stands out. QDTY was up 1.12%. YMAG up 1.16%. But nothing crazy. But let's go to the distros that they declared. Chippy, 57 cents down to 46 cents. That's a 42% yield. Feet and Fivey were old monthlies. They're now in the Group 1, which is all the old weeklies. They just added Feet and Fivey, which they should have. Those are, baskets of funds. They're not single stock. So Group 1 is baskets. Group 2 is the single stocks, ETFs. They will declare tomorrow. But these declared today. Feet went from 35 cents to 34 cents, 58% yield. Fivey, 53 to 24. That's down, 48% yield. Again, I averaged the average of the last three, and I weeklified, if that's a word. If you look up here, they paid $1.05. That was a 4-week payment. Then 53 was a 1 week. 24 was a 1 week. I divided that by 4, that $1.05. And I get an average. Because as we know, one payment, can be all over the place. Baba went nuts one time. Fiat went nuts one time. So that's why we average them. The last three, that seems to be good. You can't average all of them because something like Coney, they were averaging monstrous stuff. And it would take a while to bring that down to kind of where they're at. So I just do the last three. Anyway, Fivey, we said 24 cents was declared today. That's a 48% yield. GPTY went from 45 cents to 32 cents. That's a 38% yield. LFGY, 57 to 58, 81% yield. They're getting into ULTY territory with their yield. I'm starting to keep an eye on this one, seriously. I know a lot of you guys own it. I'm starting to be interested. I like 100% yields. I bought ULTY, way back when I really didn't know better. And I still own it. I've never sold any of these funds. And I own, I think, 19 now. But, and I'm dinging here. But anyway. So looking at that, that's LFGY. It's it's named properly. Let's freaking go Y. I'm liking it. QDTY, which is the NASDAQ 100 they trade on. So if you want some broader exposure index fund, that's a good one. It's a lower yield, but you're, I think, a little more protected in a big downturn. They've paid 34 cents and 27 cents. The average is 29, 32% yield. RDTY, which is on the Russell, 41 cents down to 33 cents they declared today. That's a 39% yield. SDTY, which is on the S&P, they went from 17 to 22 cents. Again, these are all weekly. That's a 20% yield. So if you want more broader exposure, shout out to Sean because he was looking for something like that. These are good. Salty, which is an inverse, sort of. It's a short fund. If you're bearish and you want some broad exposure, they do options on funds they're bearish on. They paid 62 cents, 61 cents. That is a 78% yield. And then I have ULTY right next to it. ULTY, which is not quite the opposite of salty, but kind of is. They do funds they're bearish on. They do options they're bullish on. ULTY, they paid 9 cents forever. Now they're declared 8 cents. So the average is still 9 of the last 3. That's a 90% yield because the price is down 508. It was actually down below 5 late last week, but they're back at 508, which we'll take. And I'll talk about that in a minute, ULTY. But 90% yield. Salty, 78% yield. I mean, good to own both. I don't, but if you want to kind of hedge yourself, they're not one-to-one hedges, of course, but that's, might be a good play. YMAG went from 21 cents to 13 cents. A little disappointing. I own it because it's in blue here. 61% yield. I'll take it. YMAX went from 15 cents to 19 cents. That's a pay raise. They're at 72% yield. So that's all the YMAX Group 1 funds that declared today. X date is tomorrow, and they will pay Thursday. And then all the others will declare tomorrow. So we'll talk about those then. What else we got? Roundhill had a couple declarations. WPay declared yesterday. Again, WPay was up. I don't think I updated that price. Never mind. Let's go to what they're paying. WPay declared yesterday. They went from 73 cents to 62 cents. That is a 72% yield. Again, another ULTY competitor. That is a fund of funds. They invest in all of the other Roundhill funds. YBTC declared today. That is a Bitcoin exposure. 36 cents down to 29 cents. That's a 45% yield. And ETH, which is a Ethereum exposure. 32 cents down to 27 cents. So those are down. They're down the last one. That's a 66% yield. Still not bad. We'll take any of this. The rest of them declare later in the week. What else? Defiance had some declarations today. MST and Defiance did they sent an email this morning of their declarations of the ones they declared today, and every one of them declared these funds here. They're single stocks. Every one of them except QLDY was the exact same payment that they declared last week. I thought that was strange, but I wrote it down. I'm like, I got to talk about this. That's, if you want stability, you got it. Then they sent an addendum that, no, those are wrong. These are the actual declarations. So I didn't care for that. But anyway, so I put the updated ones on. So MST, which is a MicroStrategy Leverage long. These use a little bit of leverage. They went from 12 cents to 10 cents. That is a 95% yield based on that price of $6.77 per share. AMDU, which is on AMD, 57 to 43, so that's a drop, 58% yield. ETH, which is Ethereum, couple of Ethereum funds, or I think ETHA is the main one. What is ETHA? That's an iShares Ethereum trust. And they were down 3.65. ETH was down 6.04. That's where the leverage gets you. You're going to go down more, but you're making income. They went from 23 cents to 29 cents, 103% yield. HIMI, which is on Hims and Hers, 46 cents to 40 cents, 147% yield. It's green, which means that is the highest yielder of the Defiance funds. And that thing's been all over the place. But, if you're chasing the yield like I am, again, I got more degenerate stuff than that. But HIMI might be the one for you. ULTY went from 33 cents to 47 cents, pay raise, 76% yield. PLT went from 26 to 27 cents. These are all weekly, remember, 61% yield. SMCC, which is based on SMCI, went from 37 cents to 54 cents per share per week. That's an average of 41 cents. That's a 93% yield. And QLDY from 19 cents to 19 cents. That pays twice a week. So it's times 104 payments, not 52, because they pay twice a week. 38% yield. But if you like that, it's on the NASDAQ. It's a lightning spread, which we can get into in another video if you want. I just care about the yield, honestly. So that, I think, was everyone that declared today. I want to show you... an article I read. This is on X by ETF Delta by Bullducks. He posted this. And it talks about why reverse splits are good for high yield ETFs. If you don't know, Tesla did a reverse split, a 1-for-2, way back, I think in early 2024. And they've been tearing it up ever since. ULTY and maybe Murney, if you're a Moderna Murney guy, I have a little bit of Murney, not much. But I bought it. I've held it. Why this could be good for them. I'm not going to read the article to you, but I will put this in the comments. Read it. It's fascinating. Reverse splits have the stigma that they're bad and you got to jump out and get out of the fund. They're not bad. And I own Tesla. I was not there when they did the reverse split. I've only been buying since the first of this year. But they did it in February of 2024. And you'll see, let me show you. This is Dividend Channel. It's a website, dividendchannel.com/drip. Hyphen returns hyphen calculator. You can put in any stock you want. You can put in the when you bought it. I'm going 1995, which none of them have been trading that long. But let's put in not TSYY, TSLY. 10,000 invested, and you can change that. And if you look, this is with dividends reinvested. You're up 61% total return. You've gone from 10,000 to 16,000. Without reinvesting, you're up 10%. average annually 3.51. So these are not growth funds. So you start with 10,000, you have 11,000. Again, that's almost 3 years. Not growth funds, but you're still ahead. Even if you put 10 grand in at the beginning, you're still ahead, and you've taken all that money out. If you didn't reinvest them, it started at $40. It's now at $8.5, $8.50, $8.52. You've collected $35 in dividends on a $40 stock, which is now worth $8. So you're ahead. If you reinvested the dividends, which I'm doing now, and I'm doing it because, well, for multiple reasons. Number one, I use Robinhood, and I use a little bit of margin, about 20% margin. If you don't reinvest the dividends, the distributions pay off the margin. I don't want to pay off the margin. It's like 5.4% margin interest. I'm making 100%. So I don't care about paying that off. I was reinvesting all the distributions into the fund I wanted to, but with Robinhood and with margin, you can't. So I just turned drip on, and I'm starting to think that's a good idea, because if you did that with Tesla, you started with 10 grand, you got 16 grand. And you turn, if you ever turn the drip off, if your margin's paid, you're collecting massive distributions, and that's the income. I am an income investor, not growth. And I want to show you ULTY, because everyone is hating on ULTY. But let me show you this. 10,000 in ULTY, started end of February, leap year, 2024. If you didn't, down here, reinvest the dividends, you got in at 19. It's now 508. You've collected $14 in dividends, so you're up 2.91%. Again, not a growth fund, but it's grown. Your 10,000 is now 10,290, and you've collected those distributions. If you just reinvested them, your 10,000 is now 12,000. That's a 20% total return, 11% annually, because it's been 2 years, almost 2 years. And look at the chart. I mean, everyone is bailing on ULTY right when it started, when the total return started to get positive. So I love ULTY. I own ULTY. I'm upside down on ULTY. My average cost is higher than the current price, but it's paying that 80+% yield, and I'm reinvesting it. I'm getting more shares. If you look here, if you did not reinvest the dividends, you put $10,000 in, you got $10,290 worth. But if you reinvested the dividends, you start with 10,000, you start with 516 shares. That's $10,000 worth at the beginning. And I didn't get it at the beginning. I started this year. But 516 shares. Now you have 2,300 shares paying 80%. So if you ever turn that drip off, that's income. And that's what we do. And you can see the green is just massive compared to this green here. So I'm starting to like the drip. Anyway, wanted to share that. Dividend channel, you got to put in these little drip returns calculator, and you can do that. You can do it any start date you want. When you invested, start it there. And that's good stuff. I also want to show Retire on Dividends shared this stock analysis, which I haven't signed up yet for. Sorry, Rod. I just wanted to check it out. But you can put in anything you want. I put in ULTY, all time, total return, and I assume this is with dividends reinvested, 18%. not a growth fund, but it's up 18% if you're reinvesting the dividends. The distributions, they're not dividends. But, I mean, even though they're not growth funds, they're growing if you're reinvesting. So I'm going to drip because I have to with Robinhood and with margin. And when I'm ready to retire, I'll turn that off. I'll pay the margin off and live off the dividends. That's the idea. So I wanted to share that, especially for you haters, especially on ULTY. I mean, everyone's bailing on ULTY, and I know WPay is an alternative, and with stock analysis, you can compare. We'll add WPay. All time, ULTY's still the winner, 17% to 15%. Now, that's all time. WPay's new. So let's kind of do apples to apples. 1 month. That's about right. ULTY 0.26%. WPay is up almost 10%. And they're paying. They're paying a little bit less yield, but it's not far less. So you can kind of see a trend here. I'm interested in WPay. I don't own it, but I am looking at it. I like Roundhill, and I don't own any of them, but very interested. So we'll see. And my dog's barking. We talked about the article why reverse splits are good for high yield, which I will put that website in the comments. Read that. Please read that, because it makes sense. These are not your typical equity investments. You know, if Tesla does a reverse split, people will panic and sell out, and that thing will go, I don't think it'll ever go to zero, but it could. Not financial advice. Not a financial advisor. Consult with a financial advisor. Do your due diligence. But these are different. These are income funds. They're not growth. So that's a good research point for you. I think that's all. Oh, Yieldboost. I got a ticker for a Yieldboost Fund of Funds. It's not, but Will Rind leaked it. Leak it? I don't know. I don't think so. I was watching Amy with Bad Financial Decisions. Give her a quick shout out. Subscribe if you can. She was at the Stocktoberfest out there in, I think, San Diego. She did a quick interview with him. And, you know, we've all been asking, when's the Fund of Funds coming on Yieldboost? Again, these guys are paying massive yields. They do the credit put spreads. You're way capped on the upside. But they're paying massive yields. Over 100%. In fact, their average is 100% on all of them. And the worst one is the new one, FBYY, which is a Meta. Just came out. They already made a distribution. It pays today, their first one, of 23 cents. That's 48% yield. They're averaging 100%. The ticker for their fund of funds will be YBST, and I can't wait. I will definitely cover that when it comes out. Anyway, so we talked about, I want to do one more thing. Another big hate is Coney. I own Coney. It was my largest fund for a long time. It's now my second largest holding. And if you look at Coney, everyone says Coney stinks. Their distributions are going down. Their price has gone down. I see all green here. If you invested in Coney without reinvesting, they launched August 15th of 2023, so it's over 2 years now. They launched at 1977. They're down to $6.67 per share, but they've paid $31. house money if you got in at the beginning. That's a 35% yield if you didn't reinvest. Your $10,000 is now $19,000 in a little over 2 years. Not a growth fund, but again, not bad. If you did reinvest, and this is why I'm dripping, 1977, it's worth $667. You started with 505 shares. You now have 3,700 shares. It's paid $31. Total return is 147%. Average annual return 50%. Your 10,000 has turned to 24,000 in just over 2 years. I'm at the stacking phase. I am stacking shares. I want more shares of all of these. So I'm dripping all of them. And when I'm ready to retire, we'll, readjust that. But I started this channel because I want you guys to follow the journey. I'm nowhere near some of these people. Yield and Grace. She is making bank. Follow her. I'm not there. I work full time. I'm putting in what I can. I'm reinvesting all the distributions. I'm stacking shares. And then when it's time, I'll collect an income. I'll continue to reinvest something. I want this to keep growing. But this is the future. Again, not financial advice. But I want to share that with you guys because I'm constantly reading and trying to learn. There's a great Spaces on X with Parabolic and Ambassador was on there. I forget the host and I apologize. Anyway, check that out. It was on today. I listened. They had David from something I haven't heard of yet, but I'm interested. Talking about gold and Bitcoin ETFs that are coming, or one's out, the one he was talking about. But anyway, good stuff. Love it. Love this community, and that's why we're here. So have a great Tuesday. I should be able to do something tomorrow. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hit the like. Hit the little bell, turn the notifications to all so you can get all my videos. And please talk to me. That's where we talk. And also on X, talk to me there. I'm there a lot. So anyway, have a great day and enjoy your Tuesday. Payday, Yield Boost, Bitwise. We're getting paid. Have a great day.